Hi.
Hi. Hello.
Hey.
Hey. Hey.
So just, Asteria is cool, but podcasting is also pretty cool.
Podcasting is the shit.
Yeah.
Podcasting is the shit.
You know stuff about podcasting.
I do.
Yeah, and so do I.
I'm getting there. Yes.
Yeah.
It's always fun when you have two podcast hosts on. I had Taboo on, and he does his podcast too, the Talks with Taboo.
Yeah.
And we were just like going back and forth with each other. It serves for good conversation.
Yeah. Podcasters, great at talking and love being on podcasts. So it works out really, really well. I'm not going to lie. Well. I got really fucking excited when I saw that you were doing a podcast at an event. Because I was like, yo, we got to sit down and talk.
Yes.
So, yeah. What event was that at?
That was at Forbidden Kingdom, Insomniac's events. It was in Orlando, Florida. It was super dope, but it was like very last second where it was like an idea in my head. Because I started the podcast in November, really because of COVID.
What's the podcast called?
EXO Podcast.
Okay.
Lizzy Jane presents the EXO Podcast. Spotify, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Apple, and YouTube.
Nice.
Lit. And so it was just something of an evolution where we were getting back to normal. You're fine.
But you're just out of focus.
Oh no.
Ah! Please hold.
Do the wide angle. Dude, just do the wide angle.
Huh?
Do the wide angle. Just take the wide angle of the podcast.
The whole time?
Yeah, dude.
Are you telling me how to podcast on my own podcast? Do I go on stage with your CDJs and click your cue button, Lizzy Jane? I don't.
You don't.
So
I'm sorry.
please hold.
Hold.
Please hold. All right. I'm gonna give this to you. Here you go.
I believe in you.
Thank you.
We're currently holding.
Dude, where is this guy's freaking things? All right. Oh my god, I hate that I have to do this. Okay. Is this gonna be?
You did it.
Huh?
I said you did it.
Yeah. Right. Jesus fucking Christ. Okay. So how do you look now? Slightly better.
Better?
Slightly. All right. It's good enough. I'll have to deal.
All right, we're dealing.
Okay.
We're back.
And we're back.
Is that going to be in the podcast?
Me barking at you definitely will be.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was about to say you should keep it organic.
You kind of just showed the world how freaking disrespectful you are.
What?
I'm just saying.
I think the best professionals take constructive criticism with a smile.
Okay. You know what? That is a great point, but I'm not going to say that. But what you said wasn't constructive criticism.
It wasn't constructive criticism.
It was a suggestion. It was a suggestion.
I know. I was in the position that you were in at Forbidden Kingdom when I was looking on the monitor and I couldn't realize why I wasn't focusing on their fucking face.
Okay.
And then when I got back all the footage, I was just like, the wide angle is the way to go. However, I didn't have a setup like this.
Okay.
So it's different circumstances.
Okay, were you recording on the video thing, or were you like using like a capture card to?
So we had a capture card to a monitor that went dead when we started recording.
Yep.
We had two close-ups, one wide, all 1080, and then I ran the audio through my interface into my PC just to be safe. Because
what audio interface do you have?
So I have a Scarlett 18i.
Nice.
But I'm gonna move to an Apollo very soon because I just moved from Mac world to PC world, so Master Race began.
Why is that?
Because Macs are very aesthetically pleasing, but in any creative way, shape, or form, it does not stand to the PC, to Alienware. But it depends on what you're doing. It depends on
She casually looks at my Mac.
It depends on what you're doing though, because
right.
I'm trying to be able to like stream on OBS, run Zoom, run Ableton, and run Rekordbox all at the same time. And like Macs, unless I want to spend $7,000, Macs can't handle it.
Okay. Yeah, see that makes a lot of sense.
You understand?
I absolutely understand.
Running third-party plugins, running outboard gear, talk about running like an analog fucking compressor into your Mac that can't even have like 4 gigabytes memory.
Okay,
like fuck
so
me. Like,
to be quite honest with you, don't know much about music production.
that's okay.
But I do know a lot about processing. Podcasting too. Yeah.
Yes.
I know a lot about like running a whole bunch of shit on a computer and then the computer being super slow. Literally all this is like this is being.
I need this though.
How
this
sexy is
dope.
this? This is freaking this is my baby right here.
See, because I like a team. Like you're one in all, and that's what I want to be because I don't want to have to depend on anybody. So if they're there, it's just a bonus. But I want to be able to do everything without like freaking out. But like this is a very legitimate setup.
Well, I mean, based on you telling me like, yeah, we ran through a capture card and then this and my piece.
Yeah.
It sounds like you know all the logistics. I mean, what do you have a team for?
Well, I have a team just to like make sure everything goes smoothly because I feel like if I want to be like in the conversation and like if something goes wrong, I just know my mind will be drug out of whatever I'm talking about into the issue because I know that the issue is what's hindering us from capturing the moment. Mm-hmm. So it's like if I have to put on multiple hats, I don't think I'm as seasoned enough yet to do that properly.
I would disagree. You were just talking about how many fucking plugins you're running all at one time. It sounds like you can multitask.
I know. I'm sure. Well, it's like that thing of like pushing yourself to do something uncomfortable. I'm sure if I push myself to do it, it would be just fine. It would be just fine. But I like having somebody there in case of emergencies.
Right. You know what I do in case something goes wrong? I stand up and yell, and I'm like,
little buttons that can't do down. I don't have that.
No, but I was in the middle of a joke, Lizzy Jane.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I was saying like, you know what happens when things go wrong for me? I get up and yell at you for making a suggestion. Yeah.
No,
like,
that's okay.
What I did, you know what I mean?
I do that too. I output on other people.
I'm like, there's like a weird light. Okay, it's that light that's happening. Oh God. Okay. Speaking of things going wrong, hold on.
Dun dun dun. And now he's gonna cue some stuff. Everybody, check out the podcast. Just want to let you know we're live from Hysteria, where there's flies and bugs everywhere, but it's nice because you can see the stars.
It is straight up the nastiest. God, but now we look weird. You know, this is cool and all. Okay, so
what if we turn off all of these lights?
Okay, all right, okay.
Like, let's try that solution. And then, are you in Premiere Pro?
For what?
Do you like when you take the video? We'll talk about it when you sit back down.
Wait, I'm sorry.
Can we grab some water?
Yeah.
From where?
It's right here.
From right here? No, because this is like the podcasting water. Like, are you an artist?
Sorry,
Yeah.
I suck.
Yeah. What's your name?
Aaron.
Easy Baked, know the name.
Yeah, when we podcast, I'll give you a water. But like this is like, you know, what I have
He's like,
water.
okay. He's just thirsty as shit.
Yeah, yo, there's waters in like that little area over there. Yeah, you guys are good.
I was literally the same way at Forbidden Kingdom. There were so many people walking in and they were like, can we grab something? Because I would bring like coolers to do the right thing for the artists.
I'm sorry that I'm not listening.
Yo, you're fine. You're fine. You're fine.
Okay. This is doable.
This is doable. Well, I was saying, are you in Premiere Pro? When you export? How do you, okay, so what's your process when you get done here?
Okay, so by the way, I just want to say I'm sorry for all of the interruptions.
You're okay.
I really try not to have interruptions, but like
When
when
some shit happens, you just have to run all my socials across the page. This is Lizzy Jane. This is Lizzy Jane. Follow Lizzy Jane at.
Okay.
Bum, bum, bum. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
What were we talking about?
We were talking about, I was asking about your process when you get done here. What do you do before you put the episode out?
Okay, so this is running through OBS. God, you know, it's really nice to have a podcaster on while things just look like complete garbage. Like,
because I understand. Are you running in OBS? Do you have filters on the video?
No, it has nothing to do with OBS. It has everything to do with this, which I love. By the way, let's talk about what this is for the listeners. Like,
this is great.
This is cool. The Umbrella Mafia guy came through and did all this awesome stuff, but it's really fucking with my lighting.
I feel you.
Like, you look cool because there's like a big green light on you.
But I feel like you're overanalyzing and people really won't care. Dun, dun, dun.
I know, but it's like...
But you care, I understand.
But do you do that when you make music? You see what I mean?
Well, sometimes you get to a certain point and you're like, yo, like, you just need to let the mix go. You just have to let it go. And you have to understand that, like, literally what you hear, so compared to how many podcasters listen to the episode versus how many consumers you have, that percentage, which is probably fewer than 5% of people who have their own podcast who listen to your podcast, they're the only people that are gonna care about the little differences. Where it's like when you look at music, it's like from a consumer standpoint, they don't care that there's too much fucking high end. They just want bass. Whereas like we listen to it, and I'm like,
you make a great point, but I'm turning on the lights.
Okay, go.
So hold on.
This is where you should like edit it in like fast mode and have like the and then you come back.
What do you mean?
Like, you know, like when you can like slow down a video or speed it up. Like when you're editing this and it's on camera, you should be like, be right back.
Hello, hey my friend.
That's good, Keely.
That's good. This is Lizzy Jane.
I know him.
We're very well acquainted.
Nice to meet you. No, I'm just kidding.
Sweet.
Chilling. He's figuring out the lighting.
Yeah? How do you like it set up?
It's fucking dope. This is cool. This and the stands. The stands are what's up. They just attach the table. See, I just need to buy a table like this size. I feel like I always have awkward sized tables to talk to people.
The table is the table is the heart of the podcast.
It's literally, well, it's like the perfect side across from each other.
This is one of the things I wanted to capture, dude. I left 2 pictures. I'm in the middle of the picture. Oh, you're in the middle of it right now?
Yes.
Oh, shit.
Okay, Lizzy Jane. You know what?
Okay.
Hello, friends. You know
We're
what?
back.
You know what, Lizzy Jane?
What?
All right, hold on a second. Okay. Of all of the problems that we've had with this podcast, I am done fixing things.
I'm excited.
It's not perfect. This does not look perfect.
That's okay. Life's not perfect.
You're absolutely right. Okay. Get me back on track here.
Okay, we're getting back on track to talking about the post-processing process that you follow when you edit the podcast.
Okay. So the podcast gets saved into my documents.
Okay.
Then I go in and I immediately change the name of it from like, obviously it gets saved as like a bunch of random numbers. They're probably not random. They're probably like the date and time and stuff.
Okay.
I'll save this one as Asteria 7 or 8 Lizzy Jane.
Rocks.
I then make a folder called Asteria Lizzy Jane Rocks, and I put that in there. I then go to DaVinci Resolve. I use DaVinci.
Okay.
And I edit it so, because like when you do this in OBS, the timing on like the syncing of the audio and the visual is a little bit off. It's usually like 5 milliseconds. So I change that, make sure that the audio is good. I then export anywhere from like 3 to 5 clips and 3 to 5 talks. And the talks are used for TikTok and Reels, and the clips are used for like putting on YouTube, and also like making. I showed you the thing that I do with Bonnie and Clyde. Yeah, shit like that.
No, we absolutely like it's kind of a similar process, but I do the audio, but I have to clean up the audio because where we were. Like even here, if you were to look in the audio in Ableton, you're gonna see like those bumps from where the bass is, because like even there, these are like the best mics to do it. They're still like minimally in there, but I only had one Shure SM7B and I had an Audio Technica, and the Audio Technica was just a fucking mess. But then I dub it in Premiere, so I have to go into Ableton, export the audio, and that's what goes on. I put it in my template with the intro, Patreon, X, Y, and Z, all the shit that you would have on Spotify, Google, Apple, and then the video is in Premiere. And then I have to take that audio out and re-put the audio in. But if I'm doing it remotely, I do it on OBS.
Wait, but if you do it, what's stopping you from just bringing it home? Is it because of like the proximity in time that you want to like?
No, like if I were, but the audio's not great.
Sorry, I just don't understand why your process would be different, dependent on where you are.
Because if I'm at a live festival, the audio is going to sound different.
Oh.
Do you get what I'm saying?
I thought that you meant.
It's way different.
I thought that you meant that your like process for like for distribution was different.
No.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense.
Do you use Anchor?
No. Do you use Anchor? Don't tell me that you use Anchor.
I use Anchor. They haven't given me any fucking problems.
Yeah, that's what they make you think. When you use Squarespace, you can build your own RSS
I have my
feed.
website on Squarespace.
Okay. Then all you got to do is like make a blog. We'll talk off pod.
Okay.
But yeah, you can.
That's okay. People are learning from this.
Okay, how many episodes do you have?
I'm gonna be on my 38th episode.
Fucking awesome. That's
since November.
That is incredible.
Being pretty consistent with the radio show too, and then releasing music.
Nice. Yeah, so we both started at basically the same. I started in September.
Yeah. It was a COVID baby thing.
Nice. Yeah.
Instead of having a baby, we made a podcast. Has he?
That's basically like a baby. It's the same amount of responsibility.
Yeah, I understand. It really is. Yeah. I was like stressing at first. I was like, I like to talk to people, but I got into Joe Rogan, which I never would have gotten into if my boyfriend wasn't like, hey, like, if you're not feeling music, like, you should listen to a podcast. I literally had never listened to a podcast before like last summer.
People don't realize the settings that you can listen to podcasts
No!
in. If you are cleaning your house, wow, did you hear how much was just in my voice right there?
Yeah.
I was just like, if you are cleaning your house,
Done.
If you're cleaning your house, wow, it happened again. I'm Jesus. I'm Jesus. I just said that. If you're cleaning your house, put on a podcast. That's all I was trying to say. Jesus Christ. All right, what were you saying?
I mean, you can listen to them literally at all times. I like listening to them if I'm in the gym or if I'm at home doing like housework or in the car.
See, it fucks me up at the gym.
Well, I also feel like I learned something from them, and I like when I feel like I learned something. I mean, maybe the Joe Rogan bullshit ones I don't learn that much from, but I love listening to like self-help ones and mental ones.
Like what?
Gosh, there's like
there's so
I
many.
usually just go, I search via Spotify the most, and then, but like Joe Rogan is the one that I'm very religiously about. But the music ones that I enjoy are like the Willie Joy back-to-back podcast. I really love.
What? Okay.
And then the Taboo Talks with Taboo. And
what's that about?
Talks with Taboo is primarily where he sits down. Mitchell Taboo, he's an artist. He's one of the only other artists besides him and Mr. Bill that have like podcasts and take it seriously. It's not just like one-off kind of deal.
Right. Like, my manager is doing a podcast for me.
Yeah, and like Taboo will sit down with mostly people like within the bass realm and speak with them, mostly artists. And then Mr. Bill's like more like left-winged, where he'll like sit down with like Ableton certified trainers, and like he sat down with Steven Duda, who created like Serum and X for Records, which is like really fucking cool. So he has really cool ones for like the technical music tech side, but he's an artist as well.
So I honestly know like nothing about music production, like whatsoever.
Okay.
Wait, so when did you say you have to leave? Because I know that you said like.
Oh, I don't know what time it is.
Yeah. So right now it's 12:05.
Let's do like 15 more minutes.
Okay. Oh, awesome.
My friend's already left me, so it's okay. I'm here.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry about that.
No, you're fine. You're fine. I don't fucking care.
Yes. Okay. So. We've gotten to know each other a little bit.
Yeah.
I want to do like artist interviewee stuff.
Okay. I know it's bad because I'll throw shit back at you and then we're just talking and it's
No,
like,
I mean that's fine, but like
that's how we're here for 7 hours.
I mean that's just the best.
Yeah.
So, your music.
Yes.
What was the first time you made money off of your creative pursuits?
Oh my God. It honestly. Okay, so do you mean from a standpoint of collecting like royalties from plays, or do you mean like being booked anything under Lizzy Jane?
I mean literally any money that you derived from the Lizzy Jane project, which
2019.
is 2000. Okay, and what was the situation?
So the situation was just a residency at an awesome club in Florida that I actually
Ritz?
I actually just ended last night. Was my last resident show.
Okay.
It was the week before I turned 21 years old.
Wow.
And they asked me to come in and try out as a resident. And I was like, cool. I had been like producing and I didn't know how to DJ, so like I had to kind of figure out how to do it, which is super fucking easy. You can literally learn in one day. It's comical how easy it is.
Okay.
And
do you think that it makes it easier if you produce music?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you can count to 4, you can DJ. Like, it's literally that simple.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And like obviously it's like seasoned where it's like things like song selection and mixing and key and all of that stuff is comes with time and makes you better.
Right.
You're not gonna be a great DJ, but like if you know how to press play and count to 4, especially coming from like a producer standpoint, it's very easy. And then so I took the residency as just a point where I'd seen Blunts Blondes come out of there, I'd seen other artists come out of there, and I was like, regardless if that's in the plan or not, it is going to expedite me getting in front of people that didn't know I existed.
Yeah, so how long were you a resident there?
So I was a resident there for 3.5 years.
Wow, and
so,
what is that, a weekly show or something?
Yeah, weekly residency on Fridays. Okay. They have a really established night where they bring in mostly every national tour that you get will come through the Ritz.
Okay,
so, yeah,
nice,
yeah.
nice.
So it's like, it's not like your like bar down the street. It's like a beautiful venue. I believe they were located at a different location, and then unfortunately the club actually burned down.
Jesus
and then
Christ.
and then they moved from like a more club standpoint where it was like 4-on-4, very like parallel small room.
Wait, 4-on-4?
Like A music venue that like Dance Gavin Dance would play in is very open. It's like amphitheater-ish. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I do.
So it's like there's a difference between like a nightclub and a music venue.
Okay.
So where a nightclub is more like this room, but just bigger. It's very like, I feel like it's more
like
compacted.
Open?
No, it's more compacted. Like higher ceilings, closer together.
For a nightclub.
For a nightclub. And then for a music venue, it's wider floors, longer on the sides to give like the music from an acoustic standpoint sounds better. But
what is this for thing that you said?
That's just like an expression that I just probably nobody knows about. But it's just
What'd you say it was?
But it's like 4 on 4. It's like
4 and 4.
4 on 4.
4 on 4.
So it's like the same amount of area per side. Does that make sense? It's like a square. It's like a square room, square tall. Whereas like a music venue, like a music venue is like more open. So when the Ritz moved there, or when Sunset Events kind of occupied the Ritz for their night, it was really cool because it was like this music venue that became really historically known for just like when big teams come through, like Slander and stuff, where they normally wouldn't bring their full team. They would bring like their agent and their managers because it just became this very kind of like nationally recognized venue for bass music.
And you were there for 3 years?
So I was there for 3 years.
So during that 3 years, you must have gained a ton of notoriety from doing this.
Yeah, and it was really cool because as I like started to grow as an artist and figure out what I wanted to do, I had one of the most beautiful sound systems to test my music on.
Nice.
So I would go in there early. I would ask the sound engineer to like put the master up, and before anybody came in, I would just sit and listen and take notes, go home, fix it, come back the next week.
What kind of notes would you take?
Just notes on like mix downs, how your master sounds. So like I would work on things at home. I would export it, put it on my USB for the show that night. And because I was there so often, I got comfortable enough to experiment and do, just play songs that I wouldn't necessarily play in a set if I was like playing at a festival yet, because it's not ready. And I would be able to take notes, and a lot of artists don't have the privilege to do that.
Oh yeah, I mean that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. So I guess it's over now.
It's over as of like last night. It's crazy.
Okay, and like what does that mean? Like now that it's over, or excuse me, like how did you make it over?
So I gave them like a 2-month notice. It was just that there's a mutual agreement. There's no contract or anything, but if you are a resident there, you're expected to be there every week, Friday. And when you get to a certain point, being booked as a resident and being booked as an artist for your work is very different, not only financially, but beneficially for the progression of your career. Yes, there you go. And so we had passed, my team had passed on a lot of kind of opportunities, just because even though you may get booked for 4 to 5 times the amount you were paid as a resident, that residency is financial stability. So that would be, more than 10 grand a year that you're taking in. So that's a lot of shows when you take out expenses, because you can get booked for somewhere for $1,500, and a lot of people don't realize that 10 to 15% is going to your agent, 10 to 15% is going to your management. Most places don't cover flights, and then sometimes the offer's all in and you have to buy a hotel, and that's not considering per diem.
Well, when it comes to like an income that you can always rely on. If you're an artist and this is a very obvious statement, but if you're an artist and you're constantly being booked all around the world, or at least the nation, that's also a stable income. That
is definitely a stable income, but it takes a large amount of time to get there for 95% of people.
So is 3.5 years as a resident at the Ritz enough time?
A normal career that you would say is an overnight success is more than likely about 5 to 10 years of work.
Yeah, I think
so.
That makes sense.
Thankfully, that Ritz opportunity expedited me being able to expose myself to the right people and find the right team and find people who I could connect with, not only over the podcast but for like musical endeavors. And that really grew from that residency, and from there on out I was able to, now this fall I'm going on tour, and it's a nice transition. I would not have left if the opportunities given to me were not big enough to not say no.
Lizzy Jane,
yes.
When was the last time someone told you that you're a complete fucking badass?
Thank you.
Yeah. Like,
I appreciate it.
A lot of people want to be in a position like yours, and I don't know if a lot of people are willing to put in the amount of work.
It's a lot of work. I think like the thing is that like people are always like, oh, like every career has a shelf life, but people have this like mental place when they're like an up and coming artist where like the only way that you're going to say you like didn't make it or if you quit is like your own fault, and people don't understand the work it takes to have a career that's a long career that's actually financially beneficial in this industry. So many touring artists I know on the biggest agencies, Paradigm, UTA, literally have to work a second job when they're home. And that's like somebody on Paradigm and UTA. You're like, what? You have to work a second job? And like, people don't realize that like if you rush and you don't take your time, you're jumping the gun, because you always want to be like, you never want to like let a demographic or a crowd down because you've been built up to be something so much bigger than you are. So it's like the sooner that you realize that I'm an impatient fucking person, dude. I literally was so brutally impatient until COVID. And when COVID happened and I lost so much shit that was like gonna happen in the next year, I had to like sit back and be like, okay, you rushed doing this, this, and this. Now you have this, this, and this going for you, and it's not worth it to be with somebody who doesn't want to represent you or who is giving you something out of favors, because it never works out for you. It literally
Were
never
you in a
works
situation
out.
where someone was just being a yes man to you?
Well, it wasn't like being a yes man, but I was like, I need an agent now. I need this manager. I need this. Like, I always had people and offers on the table, but ever since day one, I was like, I don't need representation until they can do something for me that I cannot do for myself. Because,
and that is exactly how you are treating your podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, one thing that I would definitely want to bring up is, like, you know, being impatient. I think that's part of the human condition.
I hate it.
You know, our Lord and Savior, Joe Rogan.
Joe.
Or at least.
Okay, wait, let's talk about Joe really quick.
Wait, okay. Go ahead.
Finish your thought. I'm sorry.
At least my Lord and Savior, Joe Rogan. He talks about how comedians will come up to him and say, I want to be in your position. And Joe's like, how long have you been doing stand-up comedy for? And they'll say, 2-3 years. And the difference between Joe and some comedian who's been doing it for 2 years is just 28, 29 years. Like, if you're in something for a super long time, you're going to get better at it as long as you're, like, watering your plants.
It's time. Like, people don't get it that, like, as long as they don't throw in the bag and quit, it will happen for them. Like, it literally will. And that's, like, what I'm starting to see along my peers and, like, myself included. And I'm
don't
just
quit.
Like, it's literally not quitting, and you're the only one who will quit. Like, you're the only one who will put in the final straw and say, I'm done.
Yeah.
And, like, if you don't, but it's like, life happens, shit happens, but you have to stay focused. And so many people are in this industry specifically for the lifestyle and not for the music. And that's where a dividend happens and people lose themselves. Mm-hmm. And then they lose themselves and they get off track. They get into substance abuse, alcohol abuse, relationship problems. And then life happens and then they get drugged farther and farther away. And the second that your mind is not on why you're here and you lose it, it's done. It's done.
Yeah.
And some people refine themselves. Some people will come back with like a grounded head and stuff, but that happens very rarely. And that's why it's so important, if you're in a creative workspace, to have hobbies that don't have to do with what you do on a daily basis as a career.
2 questions.
Yes.
Okay, one of the things that you said was, when your mind goes away from why you're here, then you're gonna fail. I'm paraphrasing it, but that's what you said.
Yeah.
So I'll ask you, why do you do what you do?
So I do what I do because very quickly after I've been in, like, it's crazy because my mother says to me, she's like, you know, like, you don't see it this way, but like, you've been doing this shit since you've been 5 years old. Like, I never played sports. I was classically trained in piano and violin. I was such a bad student that my violin teacher was like, I'm not teaching you anymore.
Oh my God.
And then
I think it's a bad teacher.
And then, yeah, right? And then I was in dance and I was in theater. And then when I was like 13, 14, I dropped everything and I started seeing just a music instructor that I would work with like 2 to 3 times a week, where I would be learning and playing every instrument and we would be making my own songs. So I did that until I was like 16 years old, like drums, piano, bass, guitar, singing. I wasn't doing EDM. I didn't touch EDM until I was like 21 years old.
Well, okay, please don't minimize what you're saying here, but by saying, but it wasn't EDM, that sounds sick.
Yeah, so it was like alternative rock. And then past that, I got into high school. I was in band. I was like, fuck this. Like, I'm going to make a band. So then I was in in a band with all guys who were in college. And then my junior year, we went on tour. We did opening. So my band was called Civil Action. I played bass and I sang. And we were a 3-piece band. We started as 5-piece, ended as 3-piece by the time we went on tour. We did dates with Attila, Woe Is Me, opening as a regional level. And then we did a full tour with Rookie of the Year when I was in junior in high school. And my mom came with us and she drove the van. She's badass. She's fucking badass. And then
nice.
It was just crazy because my parents had gone through this wild divorce, and it was just she was so there for me, and it was really fucking dope. But my dad is an amazing drummer, and the reason why I started in music. So that was really cool. And then when it came time to go to college, I was y'all are not gonna take this seriously enough because they were in their 20s. I was 18. I was I gotta go to school. So I went to school in DC for a year and I studied.
What's cool?
I went to George Mason University.
Cool.
And I studied international affairs with a concentration in Russian, and I double majored in communications. God. And I was fine. And then I was why am I doing this? Because I thought I had to grow up. It was time to grow up. You know what I'm saying?
I feel between the ages of 18 and 22,
nobody should be forced to go to college at 18. Are you fucking kidding me? Literally, student debt is the modern day slavery.
You're speaking with someone who is in astronomical amounts of. So I'm an attorney when I'm not doing podcasting.
Oh, that's
and
dope.
My law school cost it was a lot of money. Now, full-time job.
Did you go for entertainment law, or did you go for other law?
I went why did I go to law school? What well, I know why I went to law school. It's because I have always been great at solving big issues.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the actual field, I showed up just knowing that I wanted to be in charge of solving problems, not totally sure which type of problems to solve. But now I solve criminal defense problems.
Oh, that's fire.
It is very dramatic.
For a while, I wanted to go into entertainment law, and that was because when I realized I was yo, you don't have to go away from everything you've always done.
Right.
So then I transferred to Full Sail. I got my bachelor's in audio engineering, Foley sound, concentration. I didn't do anything with music production. And my last semester, I started DJing in clubs. And I was this is fucking... I was what are you spending all of your money on? And it was literally going to raves. I was working 2 jobs at Full Sail, which is an attendance, mandatory school where if you miss a certain amount of hours, you have to pay to retake the class.
Are you kidding
So
me?
I wasn't sleeping.
Oh, I think it was like that at Florida State, sorry.
Yeah. So, I was just, not sleeping, going to school, grinding, doing whatever. And then, I would escape and I would go to music festivals.
Nice.
And then I was I don't know who I was with. I was with a friend or maybe a stranger. I'm not sure. And they were just why don't you do this? And I was why don't I do this? So then I just reached out to some friends. I was can I come in and DJ? I had to learn how to DJ. I learned how to DJ in my room, on YouTube, whatever. It's literally that fucking easy for anybody wondering.
If you can count to 4, you can DJ.
You can count to 4, you can DJ.
That is a quote by Lizzy Jane.
Yes. And then at that time too, because I originally went to school for Foley and scoring.
Wait, for Foley?
Foley sound. So when you hear sound in bones crackling or cars crashing, that's not the actual sound of that happening. Yes.
Oh, okay.
So that's what I studied at school. That was my concentration, which was super cool. It got me an internship with Pixar. I did that for a while when I got done, which was super dope. And then
did you work on anything notable?
So what I would do would work with them in quarters, and you provide. So you're a field engineer. So you would go out with a field recorder, and I would go to parks. I would go to fields where they would dump trash and shit, and you could just get sound. So I would give them 1,400 to 2,000 sounds every quarter.
What equipment would you use?
So I literally would just use a sound field recorder and then come home and edit everything in Pro Tools, and you just clean it up. It's literally just simple compression.
Have you seen the video of Cardi B doing ASMR?
No.
It is awesome.
Really?
Yeah. It is actually awesome.
Oh, that's sick. But it was cool because they had dub rooms, and you really got to work on campus. That was where the money was worth it.
Yeah.
But then it got to a point where I started DJing. I was still working my jobs. I worked at Morton's Steakhouse and I worked at a country club and I was in school. So then I switched school to online.
And you didn't sleep.
And I finished and I did not, it was terrible. I did not sleep, and then I got contacted by the Ritz. So by the time that all figured out, I got contacted by the Ritz. I would drive every Saturday to play at the Ritz, was still working my jobs, and then when I finished school, I quit everything. I moved back to Tampa, and then I just was kind of going from, I lived at a house with roommates for a year, another house with roommates for a year.
How'd you support yourself?
I was literally just doing the residency, and I was teaching lessons, and I was,
nice.
yeah, I had
what lessons?
Little income. So I would just do like regular beginning production lessons.
Okay.
Very simple. At the time, like, I don't know why the fuck I was giving lessons, but I felt like I was knowledgeable from a standpoint of like music theory, because that's where I was raised. So I could apply like understanding the basics of Ableton paired with like how to structure a song correctly, how to make sure you're writing a key, because now literally like all you listen to, half the dubstep is like atonal rhythm. Like it's literally like F, 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 F.
You know what? One of my partners on the pod, this dude Julian, he's been here and he basically said the exact same thing. He's a piano player.
Oh really? Okay. Yeah.
So I know that we're sort of running out of time here. But,
oh, you're fine. I don't care. I'm here. This is fun.
Yeah, awesome. So Intermock, who is right over there, we spoke about doing a segment where he asks cool producer questions.
Yeah.
And yeah, come here.
Do it. Come on. Okay. Oh, yay! I know him, so we're cool.
Intermock and Lizzy Jane had a great time talking. That segment is in a different recording. Just scroll through and find the Intermock Lizzy Jane producer talk segment. It's a great segment. Check that out. After they were done, I sat back down and Lizzy Jane and I closed out the podcast, and here that is.
Of course.
Okay,
are we done?
Let me end the podcast.
Okay. You're going to have to do a lot of editing.
Nah.
No? Okay. Hi. How are you?
Hey, it's Mig.
Isn't this sick?
Wait, Mig,
so
bring your
cool.
head down and say something here.
Oh, no.
No?
Like, no fucking way, bro.
I just wanted a hi, but all right.
I got you later.
Hey, all right.
I didn't think I would see you. Let's see you.
I want to run something by you.
Okay. I'm going to be done. He's finishing right now.
Yeah, we're literally like about to finish.
Okay.
Hey, I'm back.
Hello.
Great job.
Thank you.
But before we end, can we just talk about Joe Rogan for a minute?
Oh my God. Okay, so ever since he moved from LA, I still respect the fuck out of you, but your guests have gotten not as great.
I'd agree. Well, is it because it's less comedians?
No, it's not because it's not less comedians. It's just like people don't want to travel, like especially now with COVID. Even with where we're at now, like it was in their backyard.
But the thing is, Joe Rogan would put you up in a hotel and like all this stuff.
I understand,
but I see what you're saying, because it's like you don't want to travel. The traveling is annoying.
Yes, and it's like
I get that.
less, I want to say like creative, interesting.
Yeah.
Like I know he has a lot of like chefs on now and a lot of hunting guys, which is cool. It's just not my taste, but like I'm sure he gets a whole new demographic.
Wait, did you listen to Clay, whoever the fuck?
I don't know. I can't listen to half of them. I stop.
Okay. This dude literally.
Shout out Quentin Tarantino. He saved your podcast.
That's an aggressive statement that I would disagree with, but I'm not saying that he didn't save the podcast. That podcast does not need saving. The one with the dude who is in love with bears is so aggressively bear heavy. This dude loves bears.
That's
like,
crazy.
he knows every single fact about bears. By the way, you have been literally playing with that for like 20 minutes.
That's what I do.
It's okay.
I'm sorry.
Lizzy Jane.
Yes.
Again, just want to say, total badass.
Thank you.
Before we go, we are going to do a quick 20 question thing. Where's my phone? My phone is right there. We're going to do a 20 question thing before we go.
All right, let's do it.
And thank you so much for coming on the pod.
Absolutely.
This was incredibly fun.
This was sick.
Yeah. When you're in Tampa, I'd love to have you come through to the actual studio. We can do a Grahm Radio podcast. That'd be fun. So yeah.
Okay.
Next time we do a podcast, it will be not next to a very loud generator.
That's okay.
All right, here we go. Favorite album?
Oh shit.
I know.
Oh my God, this is bad. I'm really, for being a musician, I'm so bad at names. I'm literally so bad at names.
That's surprising. Yeah, you can't name one album? You can probably name one album. World Poor Who? Poor who?
Slurring my words.
All
That's
right.
what White Claw does to me. One White Claw.
Yeah. Wow.
Real big partier here.
Biggest music inspiration?
Oh, fuck. Okay. So, Heart, Cher, Cyndi Lauper, Flume, Chime.
What was the last one?
Chime.
Oh, Tron. Okay.
No, Chime. Chime.
I think you said Tron.
No, Chime.
Oh, okay.
Check them out.
Sport that you want to be the best at.
Volleyball.
Junk food obsession.
Vanilla ice cream.
If you were a kitchen utensil, which one would you be?
The knife.
Is it because you're sharp?
Oh, wow. Where is it? Yo, you got it. I was like, where's the sound effect?
Well, no, it was right there. It was it's laughing.
Oh, I hear it now. Oh, no way.
Yeah.
You guys.
All right. I'm not that funny. Actually, I am pretty funny.
I know, right?
I mean, they're laughing now. All right. They're laughing silently now. Laugh louder.
Ha ha ha.
Thank you. God, my studio audience sucks.
No, they're great.
Celebrity crush.
Oh. I don't know. I love my boyfriend a lot.
Is he a celebrity?
No.
Okay. Well, then why are you dating him? You don't date celebrities? What the fuck?
You know what?
Are you even a real artist?
Their
okay, I'm
lives
kidding.
aren't real.
Yeah. Okay, best venue to perform. Like, and I need to rewrite this question. Like, in your opinion, the best venue to perform.
Red Rocks, or the Gorge.
Do you fuck with Pretty Lights?
Yes.
Nice, me too.
They're great. I saw them at Okeechobee a long time ago. That was the last time I saw them.
Nice. Yeah, you saw them with you saw Pretty Lights live with Chris Carnes.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes, I did.
Yeah. That's
very beautiful set.
Yes, we were at that set together.
Yes.
Your hometown.
Gary, Indiana.
A song.
That's where I was born. Is that my hometown? My hometown's Tampa.
A song that reminds you of home.
Home by Lizzy Jane and Purge. There you go.
Nice. A country that you want to travel to.
Oh, there's so many. Oh, Spain, Iceland, Sweden. I want to go skiing there and snowboarding there. That would be really, really sick.
Are you good at those?
Snowboarding.
Nice.
Yes.
Wait. You want to hit it? Blue button. No, that's the wrong.
God, wow, I fucked
Hold
up.
on.
Okay, ready? I just fucked up the whole thing.
It's okay.
God damn it.
Okay, go for it. Nice.
Wow, I feel accomplished.
I honestly don't remember why we did that. Okay, do you believe in aliens?
I don't think we're the only life here.
Okay.
And no, that's not because I listen to Joe Rogan.
Okay. A celebrity that you would want to go out to dinner with? Which is such a basic question. I need to take that off.
Steven Spielberg.
Steven Spielberg. Okay, got it.
Or Hans Zimmer.
Who would be
or John Williams.
Who would be a great? So you like Star Wars?
Yes.
Right. Nice.
Oh yes.
V cool.
Yes.
That's my Chewbacca impression. Who would be a good president? It can be anyone.
Oh fuck. Our country's going to shit, but I'm still feel really grateful to live here.
Okay.
So, because it could be way worse.
Well, any human being.
Am I about to say Elon Musk? I feel like I'm about to say Elon Musk.
Clyde from Bonnie and Clyde said Elon Musk.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, like, I would feel okay. I would feel way better with him than any of our fucking politicians right now.
Yeah, I'm with that. I'd say Joe Rogan. Okay.
I don't know about that, but.
Beach or mountains?
Mountains.
Gucci or Louis?
Louis.
What decade would you want to be in your 20s in?
60s.
Great answer.
Yes.
Pineapple on pizza?
Yes.
Great answer.
Yes.
How do you like your steak done?
Medium rare.
Nice. And finally, what drink do you order at a bar?
Grey Goose, lemonade, soda water.
Into it. All right, Lizzy Jane. This has been an incredible time with you. Yeah, seriously, this was super fun. I can see why you like podcasting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's cool when you have somebody with energy. Like sometimes I get people who don't want to talk, and that's cool too. I love being able to open them up. But when you get somebody like sit down with you who like pushes it back at you, like people don't get it unless they're sitting here or if they like a
people
host.
who can add things to the conversation.
Yeah.
There's a whole theory in improv called yes and it's you're supposed to add something like yes and this also. Yeah. So this has been absolutely incredible. Where can people find you?
Anything at This Is Lizzy Jane. This is LizzyJane.net. Yeah. That's it.
All right. Lizzy Jane, thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, to the listeners, I love you. Peace.
He loves you.
Do it for the Grahm.